Hello? Is this thing on?
To your left.
Oh, hi.
Your ping has to be
Welcome to Orion Drift.
Oh, really? Yeah,
This is
but
Driftball.
how will you...
This video is a deep dive into Orion Drift's first public-facing game mode, Driftball. This is the game mode seen in the first development snapshot released a few weeks ago, and today I'll be telling you how to play and what skills you need to learn to be successful in your games. Driftball is a 3v3 arena game where players engage with a ball in attempts to score on the other team's goal. The ball is placed in the center of the arena at the start of each round, and a timer starts. After 15 seconds, players must compete to gain control of the ball after it is spat out in some random direction at the start of the round. There's three main ways to move around in Driftball. Paddling, which is what you'll be doing most of the time, as paddling only needs your arms, and as long as you can touch a surface, you can paddle to change speed or direction. Paddling is very similar to Gorilla Tag, where you impact the ground to gain momentum, but instead of having the near infinite friction you have in Gorilla Tag, drifters will notice that you actually slide a little bit when you hit the ground, and when you land, you keep going, so you can slide for quite a while if you're not too much of a rush to get where you're going, or if going slow is what you need to do in the moment. The faster you paddle and the harder you paddle, the faster you go. Just make sure you're staying close to the ground so that you can always change directions quickly. This will also help reduce the time in the air, which will help you paddle more and be faster in game as a result. Paddling is something that will come naturally to anybody who played Gorilla Tag, and for those of you who played Echo VR, it gives the same stimulation to your brain as far as moving with your hands instead of a joystick, but not in the same way that Echo VR or Gorilla Tag did. This is a much more fluid experience and feels better than either game did, and it's really exciting to see the way that VR is getting better at movement mechanics. It's really easy to retain momentum over time without just using your boosters to turn like you had to do in Echo VR. As far as turning, I'll get back to that after I explain the boost part of that sentence. Boost is a huge part of your movement in the court, and this is sort of a mix between Rocket League and Echo VR. In Driftball, you press the boost button and you have hand thrusters to propel you forward. Every player begins every joust with a full bar of boost after every point scored, which allows them to gain altitude or speed to allow them to get to areas that wouldn't be accessible through just paddling. An example of this would be flying with the ball or catching up to an opponent mid-air. Boost can be regained by running over these boost packs riddled around the court, or a full boost pack located in the corners of the arena. You don't want to end up in a situation where you can't boost up to hit the ball mid-air, but your opponent can, which results in either turnover or worse, you getting scored on because Odin was in the goal and you didn't slap it away before it got to him.
Hey!
And then there's carving. Carving is the #1 way to change directions or juke an opponent quickly while maintaining most or even all of your speed, depending on how well you execute it. Carving works by rotating your arm around your body or turning your entire body in a way that swings your arm around the center of your body while moving forward. Turning your right arm clockwise to the right or your left arm counterclockwise to the left to carve in that direction. Carving maintains most of your speed while allowing you to do full 360 turns, and it's a really satisfying movement to pull off. Now, before you can do any of this in game, you have to actually start the game. To start a game of Driftball, first you have to enter the arena that you want to play in by jumping through either the red or the blue gates on the side of the arena, which will let you freely enter when there's space. Once you're in, if the round hasn't started yet, but everyone is ready, have somebody place the ball in the center like I showed earlier, and get ready for the game to start. Compete with the opponents alongside your two teammates to slap the ball into the other's goal. Once a team scores, the team who just got scored on has possession of the ball and has 15 seconds. With a barrier on their side until the ball passes, only that team can interact with each other and the ball. After 15 seconds, or as soon as the ball passes this line, the defensive team can interact with the ball or tackle opponents. Yeah, that's right. You can tackle other players when they're in the air or if they're on the ground and not grabbing the ground with their magnet hands. Tackling is very straightforward. If it's possible to tackle somebody and you grab a player's hitbox, the two of you will average out speeds and momentum. So if you're both going at each other at the same speed and you tackle them, you'll both just stop. You can only tackle opponents if you try to grab one of your teammates. The original person that you grabbed onto will retain all of their momentum and you will match speeds with them. Can we regrab? Kind of. Regrabbing is still possible in Orion Drift, but it only gets you to a certain speed and it really isn't as useful or necessary as it was in Echo VR. Orion Drift and Driftball specifically have focused their playstyle on individual movement, and I think this is a wonderful thing. Teamwork and creativity is actually something that I think is more important in Driftball, and The chemistry that you can have with your teammates and the understanding of playing the game is incredibly important. Comms don't have as much time to come through in this game, and plays and changes to those plays happen so fast, you need a deep understanding of the game and ball handling in order to succeed in Orion Driftball. Once the 5-minute timer per round is up, if the scores are tied, the game will go into overtime until a goal is scored. If there's a point difference, then as long as the ball is in the air, the losing side has a chance to tie it up or get scored on again. Games are finished as a mercy win at 6-point difference and only win otherwise at the end of the timer when the ball either touches the ground or somebody scores a point. So what if you really like the teammates that you played with and the opponents that you played against? Well, you can just stay in the game. Stay in the arena and you can play against the same opponents for as long as you want. For whatever reason, once you realize that you're done playing Driftball in a specific arena, you can exit through the same door that you came through as soon as you wait for the door to let you out. There's a small timer on it, acting as a little bit of a lock, so that you don't accidentally fly out of the arena by accident when you brush up against the wall in passing. I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to like and subscribe to see more content like this, as I'm allowed to post more and more content based on Orion Drift and Driftball, and some other exciting titles coming soon. Make sure you apply to the closed early access for Orion Drift at the link given in the description, as they're letting people in every week. I'll see you in the game and have fun.
Welcome to Orion Drift. Welcome to Orion Drift.
Welcome to Orion Drift.